coin collectors and history lovers. Today, we are diving into the story and value of a classic American coin, the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent coin with the D mint mark. Even in bad condition, this coin has an interesting background and a value that might surprise you. The 1980 Lincoln penny is part of one of the most famous coin series in the United States. It features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the front side. This iconic design was created by Victor David Brenner and has been used since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Now let's talk about the D mint mark. The small D on the coin indicates that it was minted at the Denver Mint. In 1980, the Denver Mint produced a huge number of these pennies, over 5 billion coins. Because of this high mintage, the coin is very common in circulation. The reverse side of the coin features the classic wheat ears design was already replaced by the Lincoln Memorial by 1980. So on the back, you will see the Lincoln Memorial Building, representing unity and strength in American history. Now let's focus on what really matters, the value. If you have a 1980 D Lincoln penny in bad condition, meaning it is heavily worn, scratched, or damaged, the value is usually very low. In today's market, such a coin is typically worth around 1 cent to 3 cents in US dollars. This is mainly because the coin is extremely common and lacks collectible condition. However, there is still a small chance of higher value if the coin has errors, such as double die features, off-center strikes, or unusual minting mistakes. These rare errors can significantly increase the value, even if the coin is not in perfect condition. Another important thing to note is the composition of the coin. The 1980 penny is made mostly of copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. Because of this, the coin also has a small melt value based on copper prices, although melting US coins is generally not allowed. Up next coin. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny was issued in the United States during the presidency era long after Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait appears on the front of the coin. This iconic design was first introduced in 1909 to honor Lincoln's 100th birthday, making it one of the most recognized coins in American history. This specific coin carries the D mint mark, which means it was produced at the Denver Mint. The mint mark D is located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. In 1952, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these pennies, so they are not considered rare in general, but condition plays a huge role in value. Now let's talk about the design. On the front, you will see the profile of Abraham Lincoln along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1952. On the reverse side, the coin features 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This is why it is commonly called the wheat penny. When it comes to a coin in bad condition, also known as heavily worn or circulated condition, the details are usually faded. Lincoln's portrait may appear smooth, and the wheat lines on the reverse might be barely visible. These coins are very common in circulation grades. So what is the value today? In bad condition, a 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny typically sells for around 2 cents to 10 cents in today's market. In some cases, it may only be worth its copper value, which is slightly above face value. However, if the coin has any unique errors such as double die, off-center strike, or unusual markings, the value can increase significantly. Collectors still love these coins because they are part of American history and are easy to find, making them perfect for beginners. Even a worn coin like this can be the start of a valuable collection. Next coin. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was minted just after World War II, during a time when the United States was rebuilding and entering a new era of peace. This coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, making it one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. On the back, you'll see two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, which is why collectors call it the wheat penny. This design was used from 1909 to 1958, making it a favorite among collectors worldwide. Now let's talk about the mint mark. This particular coin has no mint mark, which means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1946, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 991 million pennies, so this coin is very common compared to others from the wheat penny series. But what about its value today, especially in bad condition? If your 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is heavily worn, with faded details and scratches, it typically falls into the good or about good condition category. In today's market, such a coin is usually worth around 3 to 10 cents. Yes, that's only slightly above its face value, but it still holds collectible interest. However, there's something important to remember. Even common coins like this can be worth more if they have unique features such as errors, unusual toning, or historical appeal. Some collectors still seek these coins to complete their sets, even in lower grades. Another interesting fact is that these pennies are made mostly of copper, and because of that, their metal value alone can sometimes be close to or even higher than their face value. So while a 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny in bad condition may not make you rich, it's still a valuable piece of history and a great starting point for any coin collection. Next coin. The 1955 Lincoln wheat penny is part of one of the most collected coin series in the United States. First introduced in 1909, this coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, making it the first U.S. coin to depict a real historical figure. On the reverse side, you'll see two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, which is why collectors call it the wheat penny. Now let's talk about the 1955 penny with no mint mark. When a coin has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1955, millions of these pennies were struck, making them quite common compared to rare varieties. However, condition plays a very important role in determining value. If your 1955 Lincoln wheat penny is in bad condition, meaning it is heavily worn, scratched, or damaged, the value is mostly based on its copper content and basic collector demand. In today's market, a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark in bad condition is typically worth around 2 to 10 cents. This means it's only slightly above its face value, mainly because it's a common coin and not in collectible condition. But here's something very important. The 1955 penny is famous for a rare error known as the 1955 doubled die obverse. This error shows clear doubling in the date and lettering, and if you happen to find one of these, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. So always check your coins carefully. Even though a worn 1955 penny may not be highly valuable, it still holds historical importance and remains a favorite among coin collectors worldwide. It's a great piece of American history that connects us to the past. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front side. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and has been one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. On the reverse side, you will see two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, which is why collectors call it the wheat penny. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. If your coin has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the United States Mint Facility in Philadelphia. In 1958, millions of these coins were minted, making them quite common compared to rare varieties. When it comes to condition, your coin is in bad or heavily circulated condition. This means it likely has visible wear, scratches, faded details, and possibly discoloration. Because of this, its value is lower compared to coins in better condition. So what is the value of a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark in bad condition today? In today's market, such a coin is generally worth around $0.03 to $0.10. That's slightly above its face value because of its copper content and collectible nature. However, it is not considered rare in this condition. But here's something important: while the regular 1958 penny is common, there is an extremely rare error version known as the 1958 double die obverse. That rare coin has sold for thousands of dollars. So, it's always worth checking your coin carefully for any unusual doubling in the letters or date. Next coin. The 2015 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which is why it carries the AD mint mark just below the date. This coin continues the long-running Lincoln cent series that first began in 1909. On the front, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" on the left, and the year 2015 on the right, along with a small AD mint mark. On the reverse side, the coin features the Union Shield design, which was introduced in 2010. This design represents Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single unified country. You'll notice the words "United States of America" and 1 cent clearly displayed, along with the motto "E pluribus unum" across the banner. Now let's talk about the condition. A coin in bad condition means it is heavily worn, possibly scratched, discolored, or damaged from circulation. These coins have lost most of their original shine and detail, which significantly affects their value. So, what is a 2015 AD Lincoln penny worth today in bad condition? In most cases, this coin is only worth its face value, just 1 cent. However, in the coin market, collectors sometimes pay slightly more, depending on bulk or copper interest, but typically the value ranges between $0.01 to $0.05. Because this coin is made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, it does not carry strong metal value either. That's why condition plays such a big role. In bad condition, it simply doesn't attract serious collector interest. However, there are rare exceptions. If the coin has an error, such as a misprint, double die, or off-center strike, then its value could increase significantly. But without any unique error, a worn 2015 AD penny remains common. In conclusion, the 2015 Lincoln 1 cent coin with the AD mint mark in bad condition is not considered valuable in today's market. Still, it's a great coin for beginners and a reminder that even modern coins can be part of an exciting collecting journey. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting!